the ancients, they were very, very big on ritual, and I find balance in it because I think being a free spirit and, surrendering to what's happening around us and not having to be so linear on things is really important. But I also know that ritualistic methods, they bring a level of awareness and discipline to the mind and body that you can make really, really clear decisions in your life. And so if your life is unorganized and it's helter-skelter and you're just kind of all over the place, you're organized in your home, you're disorganized in your home, you're disorganized in your friendships and your relationships. Now we have all these, new technologies, and within those technologies have a lot of data is in there. If you're not organized in those data, if your bookshelf's unorganized, your closet's unorganized, all these things add up and they create clutter. And clutter is dangerous. Clutter causes massive, massive turmoil and destruction to one's focus and one's ability to create momentum in their life because they're just all over the place. So I always say begin with the ritual, and that starts with how you go to sleep and how you're rising every single day. Those are fundamentals that you cannot mess up on. You don't have the leeway to mess up on those two things because those are the originators from the root system of your health and the root system of your everyday waking life and sleeping life, which we can't ignore the importance of the dream state and the phases of sleep. Those things are very, very critical. It's part of this dimension. It's part of this life. It's not just some aberration of thought while you're just laying down. It's real stuff. So let's get a little bit more granular on that. So for me, I feel like we've forgotten what we've forgotten as a species. We've lost our way. There are many conversations happening about rewilding the human and getting to the fundamentals. You don't have to go live naked in the forest chasing bears for months. What you can start doing is making sure that you're connected to nature on a deep level and you're following the guide systems that we now know on a scientific level that our body needs to adapt to, which is, after a certain time at night, you're not getting hit with artificial light. You're not getting hit with artificial noise. You're not getting hit with, toxic foods. You're not being around toxic people, and you're going into a sound, relaxing, meditative state. And at that point, your body, because the sun's declination is gone, it's become dark, and your body is now going into its resting phase. And because you get up at 4:30 every day with the sun, naked on the earth, grounded, getting activated by all that radiation from the sun, turning on every immunological system to manufacturing hormones, manufacturing melatonin, all of these things, your body is prepared to go to sleep. These things right here are so fundamental to our everyday life and our ability to grow in our dharma work in this life. Because if you're missing that, you're missing the whole boat, and then you're just playing catch up. And it's what portion of the population is doing that on a fundamental daily basis. And it just goes to show you why we're in a disaster zone when it comes to our medical system, when it comes to statistics, when it comes to the disease rate that we're at right now, and all the inner fightings, and we're all scrambling, fighting each other for what? For more trash in the ocean? I mean, we're just kind of lost what the purpose is. And so I think purpose, intention, they're all part of this health. So this is the Ultimate Health podcast, right? So let's get to the root of it. The ultimate health begins with living with intention and living with purpose. All the other things, all the ideas, the concepts, understanding how the human body works, understanding detoxification, understanding, what time should we be eating, what foods we should be eating, where we should be sourcing our foods, what supplementations, what exercises, all that is under the umbrella of knowledge and intention, right? Those are that's the driving cause. And there's so many avenues to go. I like to simplify things. I think simplicity brings a level of cadence where you're not having to check every digital watch and seeing what numbers are popping up here. I think we've turned that tech revolution into the into the health world, and it's doing a complete disservice. Are there certain technologies that are giving us data points that are really important to look at? Sure. But we can't get too caught up in that left brain analysis. We have to get back to the fundamentals. What kind of water are you drinking? How are you hydrating every single day? I was at the Cymbiotika campus yesterday. We launched a new hydration formula. I spoke for like an hour straight on hydration. And I was just going deep on the hydration statistics. Every symptom that you can think of, from headaches to dry skin to red eyes to irritable bowel syndrome to constipation, all of that is directly related to dehydration. Eating disorders, it's like, you're not hungry, man, you're thirsty, right? And it's like, these are fundamentals and we take it for granted. Most people are not drinking the right water. They're bathing in the wrong water. They don't have the concepts of what water truly is. And I'm not talking about going into deep esoteric levels of water. I'm just talking about fundamental basics of what water is in the human body and how to properly hydrate, how to properly use electrolytes and salts and minerals and things of that nature. So there's so many ways to approach health. But I think we need to have our basics in place: how we're sleeping every night, how we're getting up on the rise, how we're grounding to the earth, how we're getting under the sun, full bodies, getting naked sun exposure, for at least 20, 30 minutes, infrared sauna, cold plunge, what minerals are we drinking on the rise to rehydrate and electrolyze the body, making sure that our body's digestive system is eliminating properly, that we have the right, biotics in our gut, and that we're balancing the nutrient payload in our body to the proper form. And then just also, how we're approaching our breath, like everyone's talking about the vagus nerve and all these different things. They all are true to our evolutionary cause of being human. We have to be in our body and present. And there's so many distractions out there today that are just sucking you out of your now. And that is a very dangerous thing for a human being, because instead of being, we're doing, right? And we're observing 10,000 timelines in a span of 2 hours. And that's taking the body and the mind somewhere else. And when you're somewhere else, you're losing yourself. You're not present. You're escaping. And that becomes a habit. And I feel that escapism behavior is leading to massive destruction. And it's starting at an early age with children. Children are not developing the faculties of being present. And when you're not present at 3, 4, 5, when you're still in the theta wave brain set as a child is, where everything's an imagination and you're learning everything around you, you are undeveloping muscles in your mind and muscles in your body, the constitutional faculties of love, of empathy, of compassion, of self-love, right? And it's becoming more of a glory satisfaction, instant gratification, and just, being sucked into another reality, and then feeling left out, and then feeling inferior. And then that brings on a whole nother cycle. And it's just, it's hectic, So I can go on and on. I had Dr. Zach Bush over here for dinner last night, and we just like, imploded into this whole concept of how we got to this position right now with our agricultural systems. What's going on with our topsoil. I've been talking about this for 15 years. My cousin and I, we have a biodynamic farm in the Hawaiian Islands, and I've been around root science, soil science, regenerative agriculture, biodynamic farming, Steiner influence modeling with how you grow your food. And to finish this up, biodynamic farming, what the intention was not to create the most mineralized, nutrient dense food. The intention was to connect the steward of this world, which we've taken on, by ourselves. We didn't ask anyone. We just said, we're the stewards. It's to connect the steward to the soil, and to connect the steward to the cosmology above us and the connection grid. And that stewardness brings on a level of connection, and it builds a level of heart and love and empathy, especially beginning at an early age. And that right there was Rudolf Steiner's cosmogenesis of biodynamic farming. And then from there, it branched into Waldorf education, where you're not filling a child's head with a curriculum. You're actually just creating an incubator for them to expand on their own development and allow their artistic side and their scientific side to merge in a very cohesive way. And so and when you're doing things with that intention, the side effect or the product of that is you're going to get the best food on earth, right? And it's the same thing with anything else. Like I'm sure you love what you do, and because you're in this field and you're meeting amazing people and they're meeting you and the connections are rolling, you're getting momentum in your life, you're getting satisfaction in your life. You feel good because you're teaching people and giving them an opportunity to learn. And the side effect of that is love, empathy, connection, and abundance in many ways, right? So abundance covers all that. It's the same thing with someone who, all they care about is their aesthetics, right? They just want to look good because it's the material mechanistic way right now. At some point, most people that are just chasing their aesthetics are going to run into a roadblock and they get sick. They have problems. It happens all the time. I see it all the time. They come to me all the time to repair their entire system. If you're living good, you're living healthy, your intention is longevity, your intention is to feel good every day so you can hit maximum potential. The side effect of that is great aesthetics, right? It's like, where are we prioritizing ourselves, and where are we choosing self-love, or are we just choosing what the mass general public, which is kind of an illusion, what we think they want? And it's the Maya, it's the illusion of the 21st century for sure. And we're definitely in it.
If you enjoyed that clip, press here for the full episode. I'll see you over there.
Rumi said that, our lives is a drop of water in the infinite ocean. And if you look at the timeline, it really is. And so we don't have all this time to keep playing catch up. We have to act.